So here we go, our big main event of the evening here at BAMMA 28. And Chris, the fight that people have been talking about, that could happen, that should happen, now it has happened.
Fights do not get bigger than this in Northern Ireland. Parke versus Redmond, the one they've all been waiting years for on the Emerald Isle. And tonight, Malcolm, BAMMA delivers.
Well, here he is, storming Norman Parke, and listen to the crowd response. We've got Northern Ireland versus the Republic. Everybody has been talking about this bout and these two men.
So much excitement and hype around Norman Parke. An extremely technical southpaw kickboxer. Great distance management, and of course, a legit judoka. Watch out for that black belt.
Now, we talk about experience at the highest level, hasn't he?
High-level, worldwide experience. Underrated wrestling, which in my opinion is key in this matchup. Active, aggressive at all times. Really, really adept at mixing all of his readily utilizable skills together to formulate a complete mixed martial arts performance.
Now, something that his opponent said earlier that resonated with you was, this is all about game plans and who efficiently exercises that game plan and executes the right techniques. You firmly believe that's true with these two men, don't you?
Absolutely. In the case of Stormin Norman, it's all about finding that head space early and often. He times combinations very well, mixes up the switch to the kick to the body, a lot of the right things, and we're going to see how he matches up against Redzer momentarily here in the main event at BAMMA 28.
And coming out to the one and only Jimmy Cliff, Paul Redmond, who is so happy that this fight is on. And he said, we don't need the trash talk, we don't need the hype. This fight hypes itself, it's that big.
It's all about confidence, and tonight Redzer, for the first time headlining in Ireland, feels he's got the perfect recipe, Malcolm, to cook up a victory in front of the packed-out crowd at the SSE Arena in Belfast.
Yes, this could come down simply to who wants it the most here. Similar in styles, they've admitted that. Neither man has engaged in the trash talk. There's huge amounts of mutual respect here. But Redzer, as we saw last time, BAMMA 26, a dominant display against Chris Stringer.
Stellar wrestling, a brilliant reshot, and an ability to control the ring at all times and fight with intelligence and fight with timing. Also, newly a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so a different origin of the grappling, but these guys can do it all, and we will find out who will be the champ in just a moment. Malcolm, talk us through the numbers.
So this is our big main event, and as you can see, both men 30, both roughly the same height. Parke the greater experience, but as you heard, huge mutual respect. Will Norman make a storming hometown return, or will Redzer spoil the party and leave him red-faced? It's BAMMA's main event, and time to go over to Buddy Johnson to announce it.
SSE Arena, Belfast, Northern Ireland. BAMMA fans, this is the main event of the evening. We are set for 3 5-minute rounds in the professional lightweight division. This is for BAMMA's lightweight world title. Our officials are ready. Both warriors are ready. SSE Arena, make some noise if you're ready! Introducing your first challenger, standing in the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed in officially at 155.8 pounds. With 24 wins and just 5 defeats from Ballymena, Northern Ireland, he is Stormin Norman Parke! And his opponent in the red corner, your second challenger for the title. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in officially at 155 pounds. With a professional record of 11 wins with just 6 defeats from Dublin, Ireland, he is Paul Redmond! When the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Mark Goddard.
Okay, gentlemen, you understand the rules you're fighting under. You're listening at all times, keep yourself protected. When I say stop, you stop. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Let's do this.
So, Chris, the bout that could happen, the bout that should happen, the bout that would happen, BAMMA has made happen here in Belfast for BAMMA 28, and the crowd went through the roof there.
Both men, the talk of the division, meet tonight in the main event at BAMMA 28. Northern Ireland versus the Republic, Redmond, Stormin Norman.
And as you can see, Stormin Norman, the slight height advantage. And how many times tonight have we seen Orthodox versus Southpaw, Chris?
And it's an interesting concept when you consider the boxing improvements of Redmond. He's worked very, very diligently on his footwork and his setups for multiple punch combinations, thinking moves ahead. And he's going to need it tonight against Norman Parke, who has a proven track record on the feet.
That's right, but one thing we did see from Redser last time out was his ability to keep the pace going, to keep the intensity.
Fight-winning stuff from Redmond last time in Dublin. An inadvertent low blow lands off sides. Norman says he's okay. Goddard sends both men to the neutral corner.
We mentioned the mutual respect, but both men have also said, yeah, we've got similar styles, we work the same way. They've both said they're going to give us a really exciting fight. They seem to feel their styles will work perfectly for our main event tonight.
And it comes down to applied skill sets, which I highlighted before when noting the boxing of Redmond and, of course, Norman's full package kickboxing. What we're going to see here in a moment, though, is just how that early leg kick that went off sides affects these exchanges.
Redser needs to get Norman out of his rhythm, doesn't he? Out of his skill set, technique, mindset, as it were.
Look at the rolling of Redmond and whipping to the body with the right hand, but that was just an illusion. This is the end point. This is what he wants. Possible takedown here from Redser. Let's see what he can do with it. Big commitment here from Redmond.
And when it goes to ground, you've got the mouth-watering prospect of judo versus BJJ.
I like the clinch stability from Norman. Look at the way he frames with his right arm on the inside of the leg. Redser thinking about countering that, pummels in very nicely with his right arm here. A big hidden battle right now to see who can establish clinch dominance. And another offsides blow from Redmond. He couldn't see where his knees were landing. Obviously, you have a good feeling as a fighter from training, from drilling, exactly how to attack the inside of the leg. Once again, though, Malcolm, a wrong shot from Redmond.
And the crowd responded. You know what they felt about that. Redmond acknowledges, I think at first he didn't think it had landed cleanly, but now I think he's saying to Mark Goddard, yeah, I know. And here we look here, Chris, you can see it. It's not intentional.
A shake from Redmond. He knew exactly the moment it landed that he had done a slight wrong. Unintentional, of course. Goddard recognizes that. A warning issued nonetheless. Big shot here from Redmond as the action continues.
Norman throws him off. Norman Parke there was having none of that, and the crowd respond once again to their hero.
Parke thought about using the legs there and holding on for the pass. Happy, though, to sit down, put his weight on top. You mentioned the judo skills. Judokas love being on top, Mal.
And again, you said there was just a slight hesitation before he went in there, as if he was thinking on his feet, and as you said, then went to get, and again, the drops the elbow there. And every time something comes from Stormin Norman, you don't need to see it, the crowd let you know.
One thing that Redmond spoke of in the run-up to this fight was, if Parke does take me down or put me on my back, I'm confident in my skills. I am a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We know how to fight in this position. And right now, Redmond with some nice little elbows is looking to open up here, Mal.
But also, Chris, he has judoka in his camp as well, doesn't he? It won't be foreign entities to him either, will it?
High-level stuff at Team Rhino. They got a fourth dan guy giving coaching instructions over there, so he'll be no slouch to deal with Parke's repartee. But right now, a lot of shifting movements here from Redmond. And what he's doing here is trying to throw up the legs and try to see if he can set up an opportunity. Over the halfway point of the first round.
Yes, and we thought this is where it would end, and as I said, Redser from the ground, throwing up those little elbows as well. Parke looking to capitalize and really work his way down, dropping the elbows.
What Redmond has here is good traction. Poor position up against the fence, but pretty good grip at this point. And you can see that in the way that he's trying to operate out of his guard here. It looked to me like he was maybe trying to set up a hip bump. I can't quite tell, or maybe a figure 4 counter. He's got a number of things he can do here. But right now, Norman's stalling him, constantly shuffling his hips forward to close down space. And more importantly, of course, using the cage.
That's right, he's constantly, as you said, the little subtle shifts means that Redser has always got his back against that cage wire.
Posturing up here from Parke. A couple of perfunctory shots, but nothing too meaningful. But he's controlling the fight right now, and that's what counts.
And Mark Goddard happy to let it go at the moment, always there, always looking, but the movement and the work rate from Norman Parke, he's happy to let it continue.
And of course, the activity from Redmond here. Redmond's not just holding Parke down, he's trying to go for things, but he's being patient and opening up. That's key. That's what hours on the mat time teaches you now.
And again, Stormin Norman just looking to posture up because he's dropped whenever possible that little left or right elbow as well as throwing in the punches. And we're inside the last minute, Chris, delicately balanced, but Parke initiating this is the only difference between the two in this opening round so far.
I think also the fact that Parke is giving Redmond nothing for free here. He's working the pass very slowly, nearing completion, now holding on to that single leg, going head outside for a moment. Redser able to regain his balance. Great stuff here from Redser, goes to the plumb. He wants out of the clinch though, I think. Or if he gets into the clinch, he's gonna wanna make sure it's on his terms.
But as we thought with the pedigree of these two, he's been asked different questions tonight from his last time out, hasn't he? We saw him in totally dominant mode. This is far more seesaw, isn't it?
I think the difference here is that Parke has much better wrestling than Chris Stringer. And that's gonna be a key thing, as I said during the walkouts, and the way these two stack up. What a round.
Chris, very close indeed, but if we look at the key moments, possibly for me, it was that we mentioned aggression of Parke and the determination to get the takedown, and then both men work constantly on the floor. So is it as difficult as I think it is for the judges in that first round, or do you think they can sway towards Stormin Norman?
I think one of the things that they're looking for in the grappling department, as far as defining success, is the control. Emphasis in a grappling-dominated fight will be scored in control. On a sliding scale, they're going to look and see how much of this fight has been grappling or striking. I think we can both agree there's been more grappling in the round thus far, at least in round one. So that's what they're going to be scoring. I've got that unofficially 10-9 for Stormin Norman, but it wasn't exactly uneventful from Redmond's point of view. He landed some good shots, and there were some good, solid punches, particularly that right to the body that landed on Norman. So both have shown their cards, and we will see how things transpire here. The second round on tap. Redmond with the red corner, the red stripe on the black shorts. Parke in the blue corner, mostly black.
And you can see on the gloves as well, Redser's got the red gloves and the blue trim on Stormin Norman's, and they're upright once more. And Redser looks to walk Norman Parke down.
Nice 2-3-2 combination there. The jab to the hook, and then going to the body. I love the way that Redmond is able to sit down on his strikes. He's got a lot of confidence in the grappling. Big overhand right to a left hook from Redmond. Redmond's looking to throw bombs here, Mal.
And Parke responds by trying to tie him up, but we've noticed the success competitors have had tonight when they commit to coming forward at pace and throwing the leather. It's working for them, and it worked there for Paul Redmond to the point that Norman Parke had to tie him up once more.
One of the big questions going into this contest was whether Redmond had the striking options to hurt Parke. I think the answer is yes. Parke now very determined to get this one down, and he's sitting in half.
But again, as you mentioned, Paul Redmond, the moment it hits ground, he's also very mobile. He never makes it easy for Norman. Norman Parke has to work for every advantage he gets here on the ground.
Right now, though, Parke much better than he was at the end of the last round. And he's in a more favorable position with a lot of time left on the clock to possibly set up the pass.
Yes, looking for that left hand to soften his man up as well. Redser, as we said, always good in defense and looking to turn that into offense as well. But for the second time tonight in the second of 3 rounds, what the judges will be seeing is Norman Parke looking to work his man from top position here.
He's sliding higher here. You notice the way that he's got his left arm behind the neck of Paul Redmond and is slowly trying to slide that underhook. There's a battle with his right arm, try to fish in the underhook. He couldn't get it though. What he would like to do is get it very deep and get it very high, right like this, which would set up a little bit better of a position to slide out of half. Redzer though, grapevined in very nicely. And Parke's mixing things up to try and clear the legs of Redmond. This is a real technical battle for position, Malcolm.
And again, within that, some subtle little downward forearms from Parke as well when he gets the opportunity.
Parke with a couple of shots here. I like the left. He's using it occasionally, which could allow him an opening. If Redmond forgets about what's going on with the pass, that's all Parke needs.
Redzer is making him work for absolutely everything.
And he goes for the figure four, using that to sweep. Redzer with the back take off that. Spectacular. Wow.
As we said, we were just saying that he makes him work for everything, and then what a superb reversal, and for the first time in the bout, the opportunity there with Redzer. You heard Parke's fans cheer because he got out of that.
That was technical Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu right there. Timing and precision. Caught the sweep, then slid to mount, but it was nothing but determination that got Parke back on top here. Close guard for Redmond.
Well, Redmond still very much in this, and as you saw, still very much aware and looking for the opportunity. And that's the key thing about this, the way both men are making each other work for every single opportunity.
It's a constant battle for position. And in MMA, just one slight mistake can be costly. And Redmond did a really good job there when he latched onto that grip. Parke, though, certainly looking to reply here. Good posture here from Norman Parke.
1 minute left in this second round, Chris, and one of the things we must say about this style of fight as well, just how much energy is sapping from these two men. It's been constant. It's not like they've just been sat there in guard or happy to sit there. It's been non-stop work, and the pressure and the stamina needed must be immense from these two.
And judokas are notoriously difficult to sweep, so that's a real feather in the cap of Redmond there from a grappling standpoint. Right now, an open guard from Redmond. Look at the grip fighting right here. I mean, he's avoiding those punches. He's fighting intelligently here. But once again, Norman able to slide back near the pass. Redmond reframes. Look at this, now attacking the leg. Whoa! But he's unable, as Norman Parke puts his weight down and reconceals that.
With just 13 seconds left, but Chris, it points out something that Redmond said earlier. He felt that one mistake by either man could lose this, and so it's proving at the moment. You get the feeling that one technical slip and neither of these men can capitalize.
What an incredible round. Back and forth it went. I'd love to take a look at some of the sweep stuff that went on through that transition, which of course was set up by the Kimura grab or the figure four. Here we go, reaching over. Paul Redmond latches on, goes 2-on-1, and then torques, putting the palm of Norman Parke towards the upper end of his back, the opposite shoulder. And then as Parke gives up his back, Redmond happy to oblige.
Chris, the thing that was notable about that round was after another solid start from Parke, Redmond really came back into it. It was far harder for both men, and just when you thought Parke was getting into a rhythm again, Redzer really showed what he was capable of in that second round, especially the second half of that round.
It also displayed what Redmond told us he was capable of off his back. This is the last round here at BAMMA 28 in the main event tonight, Malcolm. Everything to fight for. We've got 5 minutes on the clock.
Forget everything else, Chris. This is also so much between these two men about bragging rights, pride, the victory more than anything. This is what they said. For years, people were talking about this potential for this fight. Well, now it's here. And do you know what? With that second round from Redzer, this is delicately balanced now.
A lot of volume from Redzer there in that second round with the boxing. Yes, Norman put him down again. Redzer landed some good shots, which I think made Norman reconsider the stand-up. And again, I think my point is proven.
And what do you think with Redzer? Will he have taken heart from the fact that that figure four nearly came good for him?
I think so. I mean, it was certainly some genius setup. But on the flip side, Norman doesn't seem to want to allow him to be able to work off his back much when Norman gets on top. So Redmond, although he got that, it took him a while.
Redmond, a superb right hand, some dirty boxing from both men, really got the crowd going. Some really good inside work to the body and head, and now, once again, after that boxing exchange, it's Parke that goes for the takedown, Chris.
Parke holding on for dear life there, and what is essentially nearly Redmond's ankle. Redmond, though, should be able to defend against this if he can get that left leg free. The back is open. There's a number of possibilities here. Right now, though, putting the weight down, staying heavy and punching, smart stuff.
This is because Redmond really got his attention in those upright exchanges. Beautiful, tight work and accurate work on the inside there, forcing Parke to change tack.
I love the control here from Redmond. These are not fight-ending shots, but they're scoring. And more importantly, they're keeping Parke from improving his position or completing a takedown.
Yes, this is on a knife edge now. Chris, I feel the momentum now has switched to Redser. Parke really has to change this about now to get it back in his favor, because Redmond has really come to life towards the end of that second round and the beginning of this third.
And now we see Redmond on top, sitting in half guard. Parke thinking about playing deep halfway. You can see him sitting in really close, putting his head in close to the abdomen. That's to avoid strikes. Redmond said, not so fast, flattens him out. Much better here for Paul Redmond to maybe look at the pass, or certainly at least land some of that ground and pound.
Oh, this is so delicately balanced now, Chris. They've had it back and forward, as we said. Redser hit it on the nail. He said, when our styles are similar, we're going to give you some excitement. The ground game has been frenetic, constant movement, superb stamina from both men, and the crowd really trying to get behind Parke now, but Redser has really got up a storm now.
Shoulder pressure here from Redmond. It's the exact mirror image of what we saw in round two, except for the athletes are in opposite positions.
Wow, just coming up to 2 minutes left, and you really would like to feel that one of these two men does something spectacular, because I would not want to be a judge at the moment on this one.
Look at Redmond go here, just look at his corner. They told him he's got 2 minutes in which to work. He's thinking about that Kimura again. Tough to finish in half, but he's got a number of things he can do when he gets a hold of it. Never mind the Kimura, Redmond in side control.
And that noise you can hear is the stamping of the feet of Parke's fans to try and galvanize him. They know he's in trouble. They know that Redmond is coming on strong, and they're trying to help their man any way they can. But now, Chris, desperate times for Parke again as Redser looks to come on strong.
Front headlock position here for Redmond. And we're going to get a warning here. I think that may have been an illegal shot. Mark Goddard not happy. Parke also suspicious that that may have been an offsides play. Now, it's important to note that we've seen some rule changes under the unified rules in 2017 regarding a grounded opponent. When we take a look at the replay, we can go over exactly what happened there.
Well, depending on what Mark does, this could be vital. Redser's claiming his innocence. I don't think, again, there hasn't been that sort of bout to say there's any malice. It's just a warning, Chris, and away they go again.
Well, referee Mark Goddard has allowed things to continue, and whatever the foul was, inadvertent.
Listen to the crowd now as they stand toe-to-toe. Redser says, come on, this is what the crowd wanted, and he goes for Parke again. He's got the bit between his teeth. From the middle of the second round, he's really gone for Norman Parke in a big way, and it's paying dividends here in this third and final round, Chris. This could be key.
Huge flurry there from Paul Redser Redmond. Norman on his back. Noticeably frustrated here, Malcolm. Momentum has shifted.
Cut under his left eye as well from the right hands there of Redser as he stormed forward. It's not bad, it's not going to run into his eye, it's more of a graze than a full-blown cut, but the determination in this third and final round and the fitness of Paul Redser Redmond could be key.
Look at Redmond go. He actually fell backwards to attack the leg. That's a brave man right there. That's a man who has confidence in his grappling. Norman able to evade there. Excellent work from both men as we race towards the finish in the main event at BAMMA 28.
Yes, it's key now as Redser shows his strength and determination, and Parke on the defensive once more, postures up.
Redmond thought about rolling for a toe hold. Both men return to the upright. What a fight. The main event, the fight everyone wanted to see here at BAMMA 28, and we go the distance here tonight in Belfast.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 exciting rounds of main event, we go to our judges' scorecards. Our judges scored about 29-28, 29-28, 28-28 to your winner by majority decision, Stormin Parke.
Norman, now we know because of the weight issue.
What's up, Belfast?
We know.
Get the fuck's up!
We know because of the weight issues you can't take the title, but what did this victory mean for you?
You know, people don't understand there's a lot of personal shit goes on in a fighter's life, but coming in here I knew it was a tough fight. People looked at my record and looked at Paul's and thought, okay, it's an easy fight, but the true MMA fans understood. Paul's legit, good BJJ, good wrestling, but I knew coming into the fight I'd be a little bit stronger, but he surprised me. I had really, really good cardio. Better cardio than me, but I had to stall the fight and stay on him.
Well done, Norman. You are the winner, Stormin Norman!